Let's get to our 5 headlines. All right, number 1, speaking of politics, let's get into it. In political news, Lil Wayne has pulled a Kanye West and endorsed Trump. Here's the tweet from Lil Wayne. He says, just had a great meeting with real Donald Trump. Besides what he's done so far with criminal reform, the Platinum Plan is going to give the community real ownership. He listened to what we had to say today and assured that he will and can get it done. So I guess that's not technically a full endorsement, but it's just about. And there they are giving the thumbs up in the photo, though. The political alliance, Trump and Lil Wayne. So Lil Wayne joins, of course, Kanye West. I want to say 50 Cent, but I think 50 Cent rescinded his endorsement. I could be wrong. I didn't care enough to read the story, but even so, this is a surprising turn of events. Plus, the rapper Lil Pump endorsed Trump. So Trump appears to have cornered the market on Lils. It's got Lil Wayne, Lil Pump. Here's Lil Pump's endorsement, by the way. He shot out sort of an endorsement video that I thought was pretty astute. Listen to this.
Hey, all I gotta say is Trump 2020, bitch. I look like paying an extra 33 in tax for Biden, bitch ass. Sleepy Joe, Trump 2020, bitch. Ah!
Yeah, in so many words, that's basically my own argument for Trump as well. One of them, anyway. I'm a fan of politicians taking less of my money. I kind of like that myself. And what you just heard there, that is more insightful easily than any political analysis you'll hear on CNN. So you see this kind of stuff, and maybe it gives you hope a little bit if you're a Trump supporter. Maybe there are a lot of unexpected, so far uncounted Trump votes out there. Who knows? There's going to need to be if Trump has a hope of winning, I think. So I factor all this together, and I'd have to say that right now, because I also get people all the time asking me for my prediction, what's going to happen. And factoring all this, looking at the polls, looking at the rally turnout, the endorsements, everything, my official election night prediction is this. I have no damned clue. Not the foggiest. I really have no idea. I could talk myself into believing that Trump wins narrowly. I could talk myself into believing that Trump loses in a landslide. I could talk myself into a tie. I could talk myself into a lot of different things. So really, whatever happens, I won't be surprised, but I will be at the same time. That's my prediction. You can take that one to the bank. Number 2, okay, crafty stuff here from NBC News. A big story, allegedly. The headline, how a fake persona laid the groundwork for a Hunter Biden conspiracy deluge. And it continues, a 64-page document that was later disseminated by close associates of President Donald Trump appears to be the work of a fake intelligence firm. So that's really all you're supposed to read right there. Fake conspiracy theory, fake story, Hunter Biden, loose associations. That's all you're supposed to do. You read the headline, you move on. And you're supposed to think, okay, well, all the Hunter Biden stuff is phony. But wait a second. Let's read the actual article. It says, 1 month before a purported leak of files from Hunter Biden's laptop, a fake intelligence document about him went viral on the right-wing internet, asserting an elaborate conspiracy theory involving Vice President Joe Biden's son and business in China. The document, a 64-page composition that was later disseminated by close associates of President Donald Trump, appears to be the work of a fake intelligence firm called Typhoon Investigations, according to researchers and public documents. The author of the document, a self-identified Swiss security analyst named Martin Aspin, is a fabricated identity, according to analysis by disinformation researchers, who also concluded that Aspin's profile picture was created with an artificial intelligence face generator. Okay. So, in other words, sifting through all that, this has nothing at all to do with the laptop. This is some other thing that they say it went viral on right-wing websites or across right-wing social media. I'm on right-wing social media. I never saw it. I don't even know what they're talking about. So this is some other thing no one's ever heard of, some document no one's ever heard of from a month ago that NBC News says is fake. For the sake of argument, let's just trust what they're saying. Okay, fine. It's fake. Who cares? Why is this news? No one even knew about this fake thing. Nobody was talking about this thing. Why are you bringing this up now? Well, obviously the idea here is to muddy the waters, to get people to draw these associations between Hunter Biden's story and conspiracy theory. They just want those associations there. And so this is just all about getting that headline out there, so that it also has the effect of discrediting in people's minds the laptop story, which again has nothing to do with this thing that NBC News is talking about. So it's a clever trick. Put out an unrelated story as a way of discrediting the real story. So that's all there is. But you know, this goes to some of my frustration with the Hunter Biden laptop thing, and I've already shared with you my hesitations in general, wondering, you know, if this is going to resonate with the voters, if the voters will really care. I think they should care. It's a big story. It matters. It's a scandal. Okay, so this is not my assessment of what people should think. More just wondering about what they do think and what they will do. And also, I've been worried that in the closing moments of the campaign, this might be the wrong closing argument. Do we want our closing argument about Joe Biden to be about Hunter Biden, even if it is associated with Joe? Or are there more direct, immediate, more important arguments about Joe Biden that we ought to be making that are now de-emphasized because of the focus on Hunter Biden? That's a separate thing. But the other problem is this slow leak strategy. The people that have the laptop, Rudy Giuliani, and whoever else has the laptop or has the information on it, they've been leaking out the stuff slowly over the course of weeks. And even now, you still get these teases from people in right-wing media who say they have the information, say, oh, this is the tip of the iceberg. There's more to come. Dude, we're 3 days away from the election, 4 days. What are you still teasing stuff for? If you have it, put it out. I mean, what's already been released is damning. But if you're telling us that it gets even worse, well, show it to us. Now is time to show the iceberg. My fear is that this whole strategy has been handled horribly. Waiting way too long to bring up the laptop and taking way too long to get the information out. Probably if you're going to go this route, they should have dumped all the information from the laptop like 2 months ago, before the first debate, before you already had 80 million people have already voted, I think it's up to now. And there's still information about the laptop that they haven't told us yet. It's just 2 months ago, they should have put everything out. It gives time for people to sift through it. It gives time for it to for this narrative to take hold, for people to start second guessing. You know, if you want to start if you want people to start thinking of Joe Biden as a corrupt and untrustworthy politician, and I believe that he is, but that's not how most people see him. So if you want that, and this is a guy that's been in the public light for 50 years. So if you want to change the way most people see him, you need to do it in more than 2 weeks. You need months to do that. Anyway, but part of the problem is this slow leak approach also gives time for the other side, to include the media, to do things like this, to come up with a strategy of combating it, and you're giving them time as more information comes out. You give them time. It's sort of easier for them to ignore it or to do things like this to distract from it. I think that would have been harder to do if everything came out all at once in one big avalanche, like two months ago, let's say. Okay, number 3. Second day of Kim Kardashian news in the headlines, much to my shame. She says, for my birthday, Kanye got me the most thoughtful gift of a lifetime, a special surprise from heaven, a hologram of my dad. It's so lifelike. We watched it over and over, filled with emotion. And it is actually a hologram of her deceased father. Here's the hologram.
You're 40 and all grown up. You look beautiful, just like when you were a little girl. I watch over you and your sisters and brother and the kids every day. Sometimes I drop hints that I'm around, like when you hear someone make a big peefee, or when you make a big peefee. Remember when I would drive you to school in my tiny Mercedes every day and we would listen to this song together? I am so proud proud of the woman that you've become, Kimberly, and all that you've accomplished. All of your hard work and all the businesses you have built are incredible. But most impressive is your commitment to become a lawyer and carry on my legacy.
Okay, so that's weird. I think, and a little creepy, but it gets worse. Listen to this part.
You married the most genius man in the whole world, Kanye West.
Yes, Kanye West really made a hologram of his wife's dead father and had the hologram call him, Kanye, the most genius man in the world. There's got to be a word other than narcissism for that. This is several steps above. Normal narcissists are looking at that and thinking, wow. They are highly impressed. This is like turbo narcissism, narcissism squared, narcissism, the deluxe package. This is just amazing. And also pretty creepy in my mind. I would just say to anyone close to me, if there's any, multimillionaires close to me that are thinking of getting me a birthday gift or a Christmas gift, please, I don't want any holograms of any dead relatives. I never want that. Let me just say that now publicly. Number 4, Andrew Cuomo was on The View yesterday, and let's see how that went.
Governor, few people have a better understanding of how to manage the pandemic than you do.
Wait, okay, stop it there. I'm sorry, what? This is like telling the dude from Fire Festival that few people have a better understanding of event planning than he does. This is now, though, if you look at it another way, it kind of makes sense, because you could say that you need to have a firm understanding of how to do the right thing if you want to succeed in doing the exact opposite of the right thing. You could argue it takes a lot of planning and execution, literally and figuratively, to do as poorly as Cuomo has done. So maybe that's what she meant. I don't know. Let's go with that, though. Number 5, finally, this video that I'll play now almost got itself on the daily cancellation. It was very close. It was a near tie. Almost got there. This is from the media outlet Now This, which puts out horrible, cringy stuff all the time, but this may be worse than anything else they've put out. The title is, Most Americans Got Smaller Tax Refunds in 2019 Thanks to Donald Trump. Listen to this.
My refund was about half of what it normally is.
We were really banking on the refund. I called my husband immediately, crying.
So I went back in and I checked everything, and then I started to cry.
This year, I just don't have a refund.
My refund was about half of what it normally is. It used to be like $4,000, and then I got $2,000 this year.
But this year, instead of getting back the $5,000 Wright was expecting and that she and her husband got last year, the Houston mom found they actually owed the government money. With the birth of new daughter Olivia just 3 weeks ago, Wright says her family was counting on a tax refund to cover the cost of her unpaid maternity leave.
We were really banking on the refund because we live paycheck to paycheck. We can't, in a sense, save as of right now.
With 3 kids in college, the Edney family is now scrambling. Last year, they got a $10,000 refund, but because of high property taxes this year, they owe $10,000.
Okay, stop. Stop it again. Make it stop. Just make it stop. I mean, it actually says in the video on the screen, it explains, it admits that in most cases, people didn't get a refund because they paid less in taxes and had more money in their paychecks. Yet we're still getting this tearful, sorrowful, complaining video. So why did they get less in the refunds? Because refunds aren't bonus checks. That's not what they are. My God. If you got a lower refund, that's a good thing. It means you paid less in taxes. It means you kept more of your own money. A refund is just the government returning the money it took from you as a no-interest loan. It's better to not give a no-interest loan. If you could choose between giving a no-interest loan or not giving a no-interest loan, financially, there is no benefit whatsoever to the no-interest loan. Loaning the government money and receiving it back with no interest, there's no benefit to you. It is better to keep your own money, 100%. You could invest that money in a million different ways. Or spend it, waste it, whatever you're going to do. I mean, that's what most people do with their tax refunds anyway. They just waste it on crap. But you could do that with your paycheck. I mean, there's no advantage really, no financial advantage. Now, I understand the psychological advantage, the psychological boon of getting a check in the mail. Certainly feels a lot better than mailing one. A refund sort of feels like it's equivalent to finding money in the couch cushions, right? It feels like free money, but it's not. Okay? And intentionally trying to make it so that you get a refund is like purposefully stashing wads of cash in the couch for the thrill of finding it later. It's one thing to go, oh, cool, $5. Didn't realize I had this when you pull it out of the couch cushions. That's fine. But taking $5 and putting it under the cushion as an investment strategy is psychotic. And that's what people do with withholding. They withhold more because they want the refund. Just put it in a savings account. I mean, you'll get interest. That was not a lot of interest, but it's more than you'll get from the government. Have you ever heard of a bank account? I hear this from people all the time. They actually tell me they withhold more so that they get a refund. Have you ever heard of a bank? That's what they're for. Stop giving the government money for no reason. This is why we need, I'm not going to go off on my withholding thing again, but this is why we need to abolish withholding. The whole withholding system. It'll never be abolished because it's so convenient for the government. I mean, it's made people happy about paying taxes. Tax day has turned into a happy day for a lot of people, which it shouldn't be. But that's the dastardly strategy behind the withholding system. All right, we're going to get to our daily cancellation in just a second. But first, I did want to mention one other thing, not a news item technically, but just something inspiring and beautiful to share. There's been a lot of negativity, so I wanted to share this with you. This is something that I haven't had a chance to mention yet, but it's from our trip to Nashville over the weekend. And we stopped at a hotel, as I've mentioned, when I was canceling pets earlier in the week, canceling my cat and everyone else's cat. Anyway, the next morning, on the way out of the hotel, I was saying to my wife that we should go to a Cracker Barrel for breakfast. And my wife, for some reason, somehow, was against going to Cracker Barrel. She was anti-Cracker Barrel. She was engaging in all kinds of fake news propaganda in her attempts to defame and slander Cracker Barrel. And then, and I'm not making this up, this is not Photoshop, just as we're walking out and talking about this, I look up, and here's the picture here, an actual rainbow, a double rainbow actually, over the Cracker Barrel sign. Look at that. Amazing. This really happened. This is a sign from God. Angels lighting the path. Hallelujah. He is risen. Amen. How could you look at that image and tell me there is no God? You can't. And yes, we did stay at a hotel right next door to a Cracker Barrel because we're a high-class family, you understand. And it's also true that Virginia has 5 Cracker Barrels at every highway exit, so any rainbow is bound to hit one, you could say. But even so, I still just enjoy the beauty of it. That is providence. That is also God supporting my side of the argument, I think. And by the way, we still didn't end up going to Cracker Barrel, of course. Well, I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Matt Walsh Show. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right down there so you can stay up to date on all of our future content.